Here. How we doing? Happy Monday, February 15th. You guys doing all right? You doing okay? Gonna get more screens open. Anybody else just get part of this botched Top Shot launch? Why? Why do I think that I'm gonna enjoy a launch and not have any? I don't know why I believe in that, but yeah. If you guys got logged out, I guess they're working on it. I don't know. Happy Monday. Good vibes only. You guys do all right last night? Let's pull up fancy production from Anoche. Trying to keep an eye on it on the second screen. I think we'll be all right. Let's kill the beat. What's up, Sergio? What's up, Darren? Solo. Something in my eye. Young Seer. Need packs. What up, Pete? Thank you for the first look video. I like to break down from the previous slate. Man, see, I thought there was not a need for that, but I thought there could be a market for that. But we only got like 100 views, so I'm wondering. I mean, I can't review the slate much sooner, but I don't know. Maybe I'm too view intense, but certainly if I didn't see growth in that video, it's kind of unexpected, but it's something I'm gonna watch. If I don't see growth in it, it may not be worth my time. Let me see if I can get back in the Top Shot now. Anybody else sweating some Top Shot to launch today? The Cool Cats. Yeah, I can't log. It won't let me log in. What am I supposed to do? We want packs. Yeah, I just straight up can't log in. So if anybody can help me out and let me know in chat whenever the login issue is fixed and you can get in, let me know. I'd appreciate it. I'm going to try and play along while also dropping a live stream, man. You guys have some of this Giannis and Antetokounmpo thunder kind of stunning the Bucks. And the Bucks, they've been on a little bit of a skid. Luka, 66, another loss. You know, these high-scoring games and some L's. Jokic did get a little bit of benefit from Anthony Davis going down, getting injured, but he dropped a smooth 60. You need that from his price point. We love Damian Lillard scoring point guard against the Mavericks. It's just been a thing lately. And then everyone on the Spurs except DeRozan was a fine play. And then essentially the Hornets offered, three fine plays if you had Rozier, LaMelo Ball, Cody Zeller. Bridges was the most popular play. Tanked. Devontae Graham had some ownership. He got injured. But Malik Monk, I had him as a core value play. I'm not sure if I just got really lucky on that one due to the Graham injury or not, but I'll take it. On the early slate, the Wizards kind of shocked the Celtics, and the Celtics put up some low fantasy scores. But outside of that, we had a late scratch for Kawhi Leonard. Hey, what are we doing? Come here. Guys. You guys want to see Dante messing with the green screen? Is this what you want? You want to take over the stream? Huh? No? All right. Hey, leave the green screen alone. All right? Jonas Valanciunas had him as a tier 1 center. Now I'm going to have fur all over me for the rest of the stream. He crushed it. Brandon Ingram. The rest of that was pretty self-explanatory. All the Clippers kind of got there with Kawhi and Paul George being out. So we'll see if that's the case again today. Hey, Bubba. You stop. Cat is just messing with the green screen. Literally said he can claw anything in his house. Right? You can have the couch, you got the bed, you got the walls. We even got your scratchers. But he wants the green screen. The one thing I don't want him to have. Quan, I just watched your early vid. Hey, man, I appreciate that. If you guys didn't catch it, I did drop a first look video. And I thought I was pretty thorough without being unnecessarily thorough at times because of the errant opportunity between the morning and the and Locker in this stream. Even from that video to now, Andre Drummond not going to play. Blake Griffin's going to be out for a while, but they're not on the slate today. Stuff like that. And then we haven't had Russell Westbrook definitively ruled out yet. And who knows, maybe they'll be trying to ramp him for his first game. Him and John Wall have that revenge narrative going in today's game if he did suit up. So that's how NBA DFS is, man. What up, Daryl? So many dealing with power outages. Yeah, man. I think I posted a picture in one of my gaming Discords. But if you guys want to check it out, my front door, and some of you guys that live up north, this is absolutely nothing. But when I look outside my door today, a second row apartment, this is kind of what we see. Ice stairs, just a blanket of just dusty snow, but sheets of ice, and the whole state is shut down. I believe it was the first time ever that the entire state of Texas was under, like every county was under a winter weather advisory. Definitely haven't seen anything like this since I've been here. And as someone who relies on food delivery, yesterday was not fun. We're out here making. I cooked last night. It wasn't great. Babe, Dante is going nuts. Like, I don't know what his deal is, but he went in there. All right, cool. All right, he hijacked the stream already. Now I picked him up and put him on there. He was messing with the green screen. My sound is low after my cat pickup. I turned the gain down a little bit. Is this better? My bad, y'all. How we doing? Is that better? Turn gain back up. Shooting guard killed me yesterday. DeRozan and Graham were my highest. Bro, I feel that. I didn't have a Graham a high amount. I did have him, though. But I get it. Like, if you looked at this game, and I think Pirtle was my favorite Spur, but if I had to pick another Spur, it probably was going to be DeRozan, and he was so bad. He only took 8 shot attempts. You mad low after you picked up Cat. Is that any better? I don't know. I could turn the gain back. I could turn the gain all the way down, and this is with the gain all the way down. Or we turn it back up, and this is with the gain halfway. So, which one sounds better, chat? And I'll keep it on that. My bad. Anyway, I thought Jakob Poeltl was a solid play for me pre-flop, but I get it, man. If you guys were on DeRozan, that was tough. Every other Spur on the starting lineup was a great play. And then on the Hornets side, like we said, there was no Gordon Hayward. He went from probable to out. And then Devontae Graham got injured, but essentially all of the starters except Devontae Graham on the Hornets ended up being good plays, and Miles Bridges. And that one's pretty significant because Miles Bridges was about the highest owned player on the entire slate. So unfortunate in that regard. Let me try and log into Top Shot real quick. Chat, forgive me if I look on my other screen every now and then, trying to get this Top Shot login going, because I do collect. I was able to grind over $1,000 on this site, and I'm trying to keep it going. So one more login attempt. But like I said, do we have any Top Shotters in chat? Is anybody else going through this with me, or is it just me? Trying to log in is super slow. Oh, I think I got in. I think I'm logged in. Loading. I think we're logged in, boys. Now, can we sit in the queue? While we sit in the queue. Loud and clear. We good now? All right, lit. All right, we are logged in. So let me pull this over here and see if I can't get us a queue spot. And maybe if I'm lucky enough to get a card on the air, which I don't think I will be. The drop will start at 12:30. Note this pack goes for 3 hours. Blah 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 blah. So okay, at least we're locked in. Now we just need to join the drop. What are you gonna do? Sway, I did go with Bridges, which was frustrating. I like Vanderbilt. There's a couple plays I landed on late for value. I didn't get to that Magic game, but if you had a shot at Terrence Ross, you were fine. I did have a bunch of JaVale McGee. That was fine. I'll probably go back to the well on him today. What do you guys say we bring in Raj?
Yo.
How we doing?
Another day, another grind. Gonna change it up today, though. I think I'm only doing 3 entry maxes, single entries. I think I'll try that for the week, see how it goes. So some of the plays I'll be talking about will be more based on those entry limits.
Some short entry? Okay, Raj growing up?
The short. I'm still gonna throw like probably 3 of those entries in the 100K to first type of deal, just because in case it is the nuts. You know, you never want to miss out on that.
Oh yeah,
but,
for sure.
Yeah.
The Raj, it is like 5 degrees outside.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. So like, I have a cousin who moved to Texas from Toronto. She got married and her husband works there, so they moved. And she's just been posting stories of it. I thought I left this weather in Toronto behind. Like, you know, her kids are jumping in a trampoline outside their backyard. There's snow outside. It's just not a thing to ever happen.
It's ironic because, right? Same for Danny. She just came from Minnesota, and this is like, this is regular. Like they're outside shopping in this, but this place is shut all the way down. I made a couple orders on DoorDash, Uber Eats yesterday, and they okie doke you, and then after an hour they're like, nope, can't do it. And
you didn't get your Burger King?
No, and then we ordered more. So I ended up just looking through cabinets to see what I got, and I took it upon myself to cook Hamburger Helper. It was not good. It was not good. I don't know how you mess up Hamburger Helper. I effed it up.
Wow.
She didn't like it. I didn't like it. So I'm hoping we get a little lucky today. I figure if we place an order in the dead of day, maybe now, maybe
so
something.
they actually didn't come through for the Whoppers yesterday. Ooh.
And then I found like a little Mexican joint on there, and I thought it was all right. I bought a family pack of tacos, bro. I was ready. I even tracked like the dasher going there, and then she reported it as closed. The pain that I
got
felt.
Really closing for a little snow, man. We still out here, but I hear you.
It's more so the ice. It's just ice everywhere, and it's not going to be above freezing.
Even McDonald's is closed?
No, these places. Well, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
No way, McDonald's never closes. Like I swear that
half of it is just people are not wanting to risk their lives to bring fat people burgers for $4. And the other half is some of these places are closed because the roads are down and stuff like that.
How far of a walk is a McDonald's from your place?
I have no idea. I don't know. I literally don't go anywhere. It's like,
fair enough.
Definitely far. I mean, it would probably be like a mile.
Okay.
And for you, that's probably nothing. But for big old gun, that's not worth the burger. God dang it.
I mean, you might need to load up, man. Burgers for a couple of days. The way it's looking, is it stopping anytime soon?
So it's not like it's not the snow. It's the freezing. It's the ice.
Yeah.
And
maybe you guys aren't used to dealing with it.
It's not that we're not used. We're definitely not used to it, but we're not like we're not equipped for it. You guys have salt trucks and snow plows and all that. We don't have that down here. We just have a bunch of rednecks that don't know what they're doing. 100 car pileup last week, like it was Blues Brothers. Like what the freak is going on, bro? Just cars flying everywhere, man.
Yeah.
Anyway. Mark says, I'm in Hopkins, Minnesota right now. It's freezing. Yeah, it's cold everywhere, but it's just like, it's crazy how this in probably Hopkins, Minnesota is just a normal February day, right? Nothing to see here. Down here, the whole place is shut down. There's like a state of emergency going on. It's ridiculous. How'd you mess up the Hamburger Helper? I guess the recipe called for milk. I don't have milk.
Yeah. Almond milk?
I don't have milk. I have Silk. Yeah, I have almond milk. So I tried the almond milk. It wasn't good.
You get a little bit of a different taste, yes, but I mean it should still be like.
And then I felt like I didn't like the sauce didn't stir right. It just it wasn't what's up. My girl, dude, she came out the room with the plate, and she's trying to be nice. She went to the fridge, and she pulled out the bottle of ketchup, bro.
Oh,
trying to no one put ketchup on Hamburger Helper. That's how you know you effed up. Someone putting ketchup on. It's like, what?
That's not what you want.
Pete says, I had Kawhi when he got rolled out, ripped my FanDuel lines, then I pivoted to Vucci Gang on DraftKings. That was done. NASCAR, half my drivers got wiped out. Oof, tough day. Well, today can't be worse, Pete.
Yep.
We got this same on NASCAR. Yeah, NASCAR. I mean, Daytona. Those restrictor plates. You're gonna have the big one. It's gonna wipe out your field. Talladega, Daytona. It's gonna happen. It is what it is. What up, EB? What up, Sergio? Florida, nice and sunny. All right, chat. Let's do a little bit of dabbling into today's slate. A fun little 7-gamer, right? I thought we had some exploitable pricing this morning. We still didn't get Westbrook definitively out, and I'm wondering because
he's playing. He got ruled in.
He got ruled in. Oh, okay, well
yeah, he got ruled in.
Okay, well then I was wondering because how early the Wizards played yesterday versus him playing 29 minutes versus the revenge narrative. If there would be a shot he would play, but it looks like he's in. All right, but anyway, first game we'll talk about today: the Chicago Bulls at the Indiana Pacers. Project starting 5 for the Bulls: Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Garrett Temple, Patrick Williams, Daniel Gafford. Up against Malcolm Brogdon, Justin Holiday, Doug McDermott, and Domantas Sabonis. We got a 224.5 total, 5.5 point spread in favor of the home team Indiana Pacers. The Pacers on the last slate, it's a 4-gamer, ended up being a pretty stackable team. You could have had Brogdon, McDermott, Sabonis, Turner, and TJ McConnell. Now, normally I'm not going to try and open myself up to 3+ man stacks on a bigger slate, but against the Chicago Bulls, I definitely am going to take individual looks at all those guys, probably put them in the pool. Doug McDermott listed as questionable. We'll see if he can go. If he can't go, lately he's represented 29 or more minutes in 5 of his last 6 games. That's a stat you would have heard on the first look video this morning. And if he can't go, I don't know what they'll do. They'll probably put Jeremy Lamb deeper, some deeper minutes for Justin Holiday, Aaron Holiday. But the production for those guys would be very volatile. And the production for Doug McDermott's very volatile. Brogdon, why can't I quit you? I'm going back to the well, gosh dang it. It's the Chicago Bulls. I'm doing it. And then Sabonis is at 9'6", 9'1", and I think there's going to be a lot of allure for guys like Wall in the revenge spot and Curry, guys like that. Sabonis could easily be the top scorer on the slate in this matchup, but so I don't want to get away from that. He's 9'6", 9'1" on both sides, on FanDuel and DraftKings respectively. So I'm going to be there on him. I also noted this morning that centers have been destroying the Indiana Pacers in the last 5 games and beyond. But the guy to watch is Wendell Carter. This morning I had him questionable as someone who went through full practice on Sunday. Let's see if there's an update. Carter is questionable. He's still questionable. So he's been out for a month. So if he does play, I'd assume that he's probably not going to play 30 minutes off the drop. And that might be enough to be annoying because I would definitely take shots on Thad Young in this spot. But if he's out, Thad Young introduces into my player pool, and I'd be happy about that. Zach LaVine without Laurie Markkinen. I profiled this on the first look video this morning, but it's a really nice stretch of fantasy point games. Zach LaVine DKP by game log without Laurie Markkinen last 10 games. 9K I feel like it's a little bit above what I want to pay, but he's been right there at giving you a shot at 50 fantasy points. 47, 65, 48, 55, 66, 59, 45 in the last couple games without Markkinen, so I would be okay with taking some shots on him, but I do think at that salary, I'm going to be more into guys like Wall, guys like Donovan Mitchell, and the list goes on. So even Jimmy Butler has a case. So I don't know if I get to a ton of Zach LaVine here, but I definitely want to have the thought of him, and I want Wendell Carter out because I got to have some Thad Young in this spot, man. What are you doing with this game?
I mean, so Sabonis probably like a tier 2-ish for me. I mean, great spot for him. Been getting there lately. Should smash here. So give me some of him. Brogdon, I mean, this is the way TJ McConnell's been playing. I think it's taken away some of Brogdon's upside just with TJ McConnell's assist numbers. But I think you still want to play him. But I think you got to play some TJ McConnell. I know the price tag is up there. Premier spot, point guards against the Bulls. Not a comfortable click, but the guy that can win you a tournament. So give me McConnell, give me Brogdon, give me Sabonis. Miles Turner, I mean, how many blocks are the Bulls giving up?
Actually, not much. Just 4 a game.
Not much. 4 a game. I mean, at his price, I don't mind taking a shot at him. I think he still has upside here. I'm probably gonna. I mean, I think Miles Turner could be a good pivot from a chalk Boogie, if I think Boogie's going to be chalk again. Chicago side, I mean, you mentioned Levine, tough click, but again, this screams like a spot where everyone overlooks Levine, and he can have a 40 real-life points here. So I think you want some Levine in the pool. And Levine might be my only bull. Kobe White's price tag's interesting, but point guard is deep.
On FanDuel, Patrick Williams is playing really, really deep minutes. So if Wendell Carter Jr. was out again, you may be chipping a chair of those minutes. But yeah, Levine's really the only guy I feel like in tournaments I'm going to have a dot at. And Kobe White if I'm getting to 50 to 100. Looking at the live chat here, there's mixed feelings on TJ McConnell's price. New drops, 10 of them. 7. I appreciate that a lot, man. I'm trying to keep an eye on it and run things. Solid 6. Definitely quit on Brogdon. I just played McConnell instead. I'll take his 30 rather than pay for Brogdon. Fell for 40. Yes, I get it, but I'm not. I can't. First of all, it's Chicago Bulls, right? The Bulls' pace is going to be top 3 in basketball. It's going to create more possessions, more opportunities for Brogdon. Atlanta game, he muscled his way to 40. That's what I'm looking for. North side of 40 under 8K. But prior to that, a couple bad beats. 19, 17 shot attempts, shooting less than 50%. I don't know. I can't give up on Brogdon, but I will say that yes, because of the style of play that TJ McConnell has, which is just high assist and facilitate. If he's going to be a 30-minute guy, it definitely would. There would be a chain reaction that I could see Brogdon's ceiling dropping a little bit. 32 minutes in back-to-back games for McConnell, and in the last, 10 games alone, we've seen double-digit assist games. 12 that last game out, 15, 12 against New Orleans and Milwaukee. Milwaukee, of course, a similar style of pace as the Bulls, so could have a similar style of game. I get it. We don't usually pay $6K for TJ McConnell on FanDuel, 5-2 on DraftKings, but 30 fantasy points is really not outside the wheelhouse. And if McDermott can't go, I really don't see how those minutes just disappear. So I'll be willing to forgive and forget. See what you guys got. Let's see what else you guys got. Mark says, I'm playing DraftKings tonight. $8 a lineup to 100K to first. All right, not bad. What up, Joey Bacon? TJ was good value when he was 4.3, but 5.9 is too high. I mean, I just think, I understand that it needs 30. You're paying perhaps for what is perceptually his ceiling off of the bench. So I definitely am not trying to force him on anybody, but he'll be in my player pool. At 5.9, it'll probably be tier 3, and I would probably be shocked if I have more than 15%, but it's such a good spot. Andy Sadaransky, I probably don't, as of now, I don't like to really surrender some high ceiling spots on FanDuel. On DraftKings, if you're trying to stock and stuff a little bit, maybe. I don't know, Raj. Are we sleeping on Sadaransky? 3,900 on FanDuel as a.
I mean, he had one, the last game he got there, but I'm not running to play him.
It's kind of where I'm at. I think on FanDuel, if I'm looking at the point guard position, it is so stacked that I really don't want to gamble on Curry, Trey, Kyrie, no KD, Westbrook's in against his old team, Ben Simmons potentially without Embiid, Fox is in. I called it this morning, man. That total is going to be nuts, and it came out over 240.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, point guard is so lucrative up on the top that I just don't want to get too creative by punting the bottom, Let's keep it moving. James says, great content this morning. Remember, Pacers on a back-to-back might be a Bulls blowout. Are the Pacers play yesterday? I don't remember them playing yesterday. Did they?
I think, did Brogdon play yesterday? Was he on the slate?
I don't think he did.
What was that day before? 13th? No, he didn't.
Yeah, I don't think they played yesterday. Yeah, I think we're fine. And the Bulls, I don't think the Bulls played either. So, Sadaransky's a trap. No, I play too much of it. I mean, Sadaransky has a role sometimes, but unless you really need some value on DraftKings, I don't really see him being near me on FanDuel. Let's move on to the next game. Houston Rockets at the Washington Wizards. Project starting 5 for the Rockets. John Wall, Eric Gordon, Jay Sean Tate, PJ Tucker, DeMarcus, I'm better than Jeremy Grant Cousins. Oh, yeah. Up against Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal, Garrison Matthews, Rui Hachimura, and Mo Wagner. 230.5 total, 1.5 point spread favor. The visiting Houston Rockets. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. John Wall. Dude, you know he circled this one. You know he's got a chip on his shoulder, and mathematically he's got no Victor Oladipo. Back in DC, 7-7 on FanDuel, 7-5 on DraftKings. I talked about how that last game, oh my God, I got signed out at Top Shot again. How that last game had so much more potential. They got smoked by the Knicks. One of the top defenses in basketball. They're just slept on because their offense stinks. Said it this morning. Lost by 20 plus, but he took 20 shot attempts, and there was plenty of peripherals left on the board, and he still almost got 40 plus at 7-5. So look for a lot of John Wall by the field tonight, and I'll probably end up with a lot of John Wall myself. Past him, Eric Gordon's had a solid campaign when one of Depot or Wall have been out. We saw him touch 40 last game. I got him for over 30 fantasy points on both sides. I'll take that at under 6,500 on both sides. And then DeMarcus Cousins is the conversation, is the great debate. And you guys know which side I'm on. We had a passionate debate about this yesterday. He's been fine per minute, and this is a pace-up, no defense type of game.
But is he getting the minutes?
If you give me 25 minutes of Boogie on his production, like per minute, even if he's
32 minutes,
I don't need it. You give me 25 minutes against the Wizards, I'm having some DeMarcus Cousins today. I just am.
Yeah, I mean, I would full stack the Houston Rockets against the Washington Wizards, full strength, not play defense. John Wall 7,500 on DK. Eric Gordon 64, Cousins 6'2", so that's combined 12, 19, so about like $20,100. And if you can get in that price, you're probably going to get. I think they have like 140 point upside.
Yes, I also think like a Jayshawn Tate could be in the pool for me, and then one of like a Waba or a Daniel House might make it for me. I think this is one of the best matchups the Rockets have seen in a while.
Mm-hmm. I'm with it. On the Washington side, though, right now in 3 entries, I think I'm fading Westbrook and Beal.
You're fading both of them?
Yeah.
I think Beal on DraftKings, Beal under 9K is still nasty. Like, that's still a problem.
He is.
And if this game's scoring 230, you're giving the Wizards 115.
You're going Fox over Beal, though, right? It's actually the same price on DraftKings. They got a guard spot.
No?
Okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Fox is in the lead spot, but like, does he deserve to be the insta click over Bradley Beal in this spot? I don't know, man. I might. That's gonna be a coin flip. It's closer than I thought it was. But I guess this morning when I went to bed, I really just thought Westbrook would be out, and I just figured Bradley Beal would do everything. Man.
It's close.
Chat, what y'all doing? Fox? Bradley Beal versus Darren Fox. Where are you guys at?
Fox versus Brooklyn. It's been hot. Played minutes.
I love that Brooklyn game. So I don't think there's a right or wrong answer now, but I'm curious to see where people are. What about Westbrook at 9K on FanDuel, 9,400? So he's been in the 9K areas on DraftKings for a while, but FanDuel hasn't been that conservative, right? And now he's dropped down to 9K. I can't remember the last time Westbrook was 9K on FanDuel. So at 9K, we notice potential upside is he joins an elite class of point guard eligible players. I think a lot of people would be a little hesitant to roster him because this would be his first back-to-back. But man, there's some revenge in his blood as well. But him and Beal are really the only two Wizards I'll consider. And then the Rockets have 3 front-end guys. I could see tier 2 plus exposures on Wall, Gordon, and Cousins. And then I'd have some dart throws on Tate, Waba, and House. I feel like there's going to be one of the supplementary guys just go out there and get it done. Get caught up on chat here. What up, Damian Carnahan? What up, Gunn, Wall, and Westbrook gonna go at it? I like it. Is this game stackable? I wish the Wizards had more solid pieces. I really don't like. Yesterday, the Wizards beat the Celtics, and it was like Bradley Beal and everyone else. Like people it just wasn't worth having. Mo Wagner's 3,200 on DraftKings. That's chipping a chair worthy. Last season, he's one of the highest foul per minute players in the league. And I think Demarcus Cousins, we know his propensity to draw fouls. So that has me spooked on him. But if he's a $3,200 center, anything could happen. But I don't see myself having high amounts of them. Really, I probably don't even have any of them. Mark says, Bills demand tonight. Stop it. What up, Brian? Nets want better defense. They definitely need it. Maybe Iman Shumpert. Every time I say that. Conscious Machine. How's the freeze gun from the guy who lives in winter in Massachusetts? The freeze is only impacting me because I can't get goods delivered. Otherwise, I grew up in colder climates anyway. That's not an issue. It's just the fact that this whole state is unprepared for stuff like this. I mean, I've lived here off and on for 10 years. This is easily the worst I've seen it in terms of ice and temperature. We've had snow every now and then. Heck, we had more snow than this a couple weeks ago. It just wasn't freezing like it was now, and it wasn't for a week stretch. So I enjoy it. I think it's beautiful looking at just a blanket of snow. But the whole state doesn't know what to do, and they're experiencing rolling blackouts down here, and people are getting power, then losing it for 30 minutes, then getting it back. I haven't been affected by that yet, but people in this very town that I live in, I've seen on Facebook complain about it. So if I disappear, hey, maybe.
Y'all even made Canadian news. They're saying parts in Texas were experiencing rolling blackouts, struggling with the snow, ice.
Yeah, it's tough, and it's just so hard to have crews get out there and fix stuff because of the travel restrictions. Lance says you're leaning Fox over Bill. Sway says I'm kind of liking Fox, not going to lie, over Bill. Okay. Mark says I'm afraid to play Westbrook. Shadow says Wall over 23.5 points. Gun, what do you think? Man, I tell you what, usually I like to stay more towards math than narrative, but I absolutely believe John Wall has a chip on his shoulder here. He's been pretty public about it. I have him projected for 24.1 real points, so if you're getting it at 23.5, it's not like I'm shattering that total, but I do have him over that. Maybe you get a better PRA to kind of soften the blow, because I do like his chances of, a double-double with assist. But I do think this is one of those narrative games for John Wall, and he'll play up. Get the state the state definitely isn't prepared. Gunny is in New York and cold is nothing. Yeah, I like the cold. I'm fatty, bro. The summer out here when it's touching 110. That's the other thing, man. Yeah, people are roasting Texas right now for complaining about 6 inches of snow and 7-degree weather. It's just like, I'll see you in August when you're complaining about 90-degree heat waves. You know what I'm saying? Like, get on out of here, bro. Let us suffer. Any games possibly affected by the weather? I don't think so. I think the Spurs game got postponed tomorrow, but it was for a COVID positive test, not for the weather. Pete says snow is one thing, but ice, considering everything, is a whole other level. Yeah, and that dangerous black ice. I was going to reference the Key and Peele sketch, but I don't know if some people may not be.
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, Gunn is a racist. We knew it.
That's a good call. I don't know.
Atlanta Hawks at the New York Knicks. Next game on the docket. Project starting 5 for the Hawks. Trae Young, Kevin Huerter, Cam Reddish Jr., John Collins, Clint Capella taking on Elfrid Payton, Reggie Bullock, R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, Nerlens Noel. A 218 total here. 2-point spread favor of the visiting Atlanta Hawks. So Trae Young, 9,500 on DraftKings, 99 on FanDuel. I definitely, it's starting to set up to where you have to get point guard right tonight, especially on FanDuel. But the elite upside at point guard today, Raj, is insane. And Trae Young's one of those guys that just might get forgotten about. And outside of a couple of blips in the last couple games, right, 37-32, Indiana, San Antonio. San Antonio was a blowout, and the next game was night 2 of a back-to-back. Only took 9 shot attempts, still got there on assist. He had a really solid stretch of 50-plus fantasy point performances and 9.5. That doesn't break the slate, but he's definitely in the conversation of one of these high-end point guards today that could absolutely destroy. I'm willing to step backwards on Trey here if I'm putting him on the table and just giving everyone pluses and minuses. The New York Knicks are going to run the slowest pace in basketball. If you go to that team metrics tab in the RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreadsheet, Knicks have the slowest pace in basketball. And then, like I said, their defensive efficiency is top 3 in basketball. A lot of people don't give them the credit for being a good defense because their offense masks how good their defense. Their offensive rating is bottom 6 in basketball, bottom 7, while their defense is top 3. So if they could just make a few more shots, maybe this team gets a little bit more respect, and maybe the addition of Derrick Rose, the return of Alec Burks, the growth and development of Emmanuel quickly, maybe those help shake things up. And then also maybe this defense has a step backwards, losing Mitchell Robinson. So a lot of floating variances to watch out for if you're a Knicks fan. But with that said, John Collins, 7'6", 7K. I got him at 35 minutes. He's been playing deep minutes. I've heard his name shopped in trade rumors. Clint Capella, I got him on the south side of 30 minutes, but this has been a positive matchup, centers against the Knicks. The Knicks and the Hawks both allow a decent to high amount of blocks allowed per game. Capella and Noel will be block chasing. Is there anyone in this game, when we're thinking about the Wizards prices and the Rockets prices, and we're looking forward to that Nets game and the Kings pricing, is there anybody in this game you find yourself higher on or even just having exposure to? Like, Nerlens Noel is an interesting conversation, but even he maybe not be the lock that he was on last slate at a new price. Anyone that you're going to be bullish on, or is it just like some shots to Julius Randle and on to the next one?
I like Gallinari. I think at his price, there's still some upside there. Against Indiana, I played the minutes. I think took his normal allotment of shots, shot well, got there. I think he can do the same thing against New York. So give me some of him as kind of like a mid-tier value guy. Probably staying away from Trae Young in the 3 entry. Probably not going to get there. Capella against New York. That's 7-4 price tag is nice. His minutes have been down lately. Weird. 27, 29, 21, 21, 28 minutes. Past 5 games. Some of these games were really close. So I don't know what's going on with his minutes. Who's been a beneficiary of his minutes?
For who?
For Capella, his minutes have been down.
I mean, Collins' minutes is up, and yeah, I don't think Capella was ever supposed to be a 30+ minute guy.
I mean, he was for a while when he was touching 9K, right? And he was
right. I don't think he was supposed. I don't think that was their long term.
Got it. Okay, yeah. So that hits probably nobody on the Knicks side. I mean, a shot on Randall, don't hate it. But I mean, Derrick Rose, am I really going to play with the point guard spot of the Knicks? Probably not. I think it's just shots on Randall, really.
So Noel, 4,400 on DraftKings. I think there is still a range of outcomes that he's okay to plus play. Mm-hmm. So I'll probably have some of him.
I think my most combo for center.
On FanDuel, Noel was listed as a power forward, I believe. Did they move him to center? They haven't. So at almost 5K, like I would still be considering him, but with the Drummond not playing news, JaVale McGee is a power forward at 3,700. So I feel like I just take the shots on JaVale McGee versus Noel there. So I don't know. I might not even have Noel exposure. We'll see. RJ Perez get pretty cheap, but yeah, the guard and wing rotation for the Knicks is actually pretty staggered considering a Tom Thibodeau rotation. I'm just thinking Randall here. Chat, what do you guys got on this one? Are you guys going to touch any Hawks here? I do feel like we might be undervaluing the Hawks based on their minute rotation right now. They're without a lot of active bodies offensively and defensively, but especially offensively. No DeAndre Hunter. He represented deep minutes. No Bogdanovich. Kevin Huerter's out here playing 35+ minutes. He's 6K or less. That's kind of not far from Eric Gordon, right? So maybe Gordon wins the 1v1, but do we have room for both of them? Maybe Cam Reddish is pretty cheap on both sites at a cheap price, but I don't know. I feel like there is a shot. I'm not valuing the Hawks as much as I should. But the matchup just isn't great, and the freaking pace is so slow. I'm just willing to hope this game doesn't kill me and look elsewhere. Look at the live chat. Gun, you dissed the Rainbow Unicorn Bang. I actually like it. I don't know if I've tried the Rainbow Unicorn. I don't really get to. I don't go wild with Bang. The one that I did try on accident was it like cherry lemonade or something like that. I had ordered a bunch of black cherry vanilla, and the DoorDash or the Instacart lady, I guess they were out, and she took it upon herself to like give me lemonade Bang, and that was just not what's up. It was bad. Constance says Herder big game. I think the minutes. I think with Herder is just grinding out those minutes. So I think it's possible, but I'd start at a tier 3. I think there's tons of options at the mid-tier to high-tier guard range. And I don't know if Herder's going to end up being a priority for me, but minutes equal money, right? What up, G-Man? Herder or Reddish always has value. Yeah, usually the 35-plus minutes for Herder can give you a solid stock and stuff for floor. And every now and then there's some upside. So if you played him, I don't think you're crazy. I'm just probably not going to be there today. I think the bulk of the points scored in this game probably going to be in the paint. So Collins, Capella, Randall, even maybe Noel. But yeah, ugly game overall, right? Shadow says, look at Randall and Young and Randall numbers between those two head to head. I don't feel like that's a correlation that we should put stock into. Ugly game, you can't play this. Almost everyone's fading this game, right? Capella lock. Definitely not locking Capella. But if you like him, like, go for it. It's a matchup he could thrive in. Next game on the docket. Look at this gap, man. We go from 7:30 on the East Coast, New York Knicks, and now we're going to 9 o'clock up in Utah. The Jazz hosting the Philadelphia 76ers. Project starting 5 for the Sixers. Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Danny Green, Tobias Harris, and maybe, just maybe, Joel Embiid. He is questionable. Up against Donovan Mitchell, Jingle, Joe Ingles, Bojan Bogdanovic, Royce O'Neal, and Rudy Gobert. We got 225.5 total. Utah moved to 7.5-point favorites. That line moved just a little bit. They were like 6 when I did my video this morning. And Utah's just been so dominant. 12-2 or 11-2 at home. I think it's 12-2. The best team in basketball. We can say this now, right? We all accepted that the Utah Jazz are the best team in the NBA. Raj?
I mean, they're the Atlanta Hawks from, what was that year? 2013, 14. Remember the Hawks when they had 4 All-Stars with Kyle Korver? They had the best record in the league. Yeah, that's exactly who they are. I think Jake said that in the run DFS. Yeah, it's a perfect comparison. Like, they're that team. They're going to have a great regular season and come to playoffs. They'll probably lose in the second round. Maybe first.
Maybe. Utah's been just sneaky scrappy the last couple of years. I feel like they might be the new Thunder, but their approach is so different. Like they've taken the Spurs defense from 5 years ago, and then they've created a 3-point centric offense, but it's not a 3-point centric offense based on running the fastest pace in the league. They're still a slow paced team. So it's a unique team that Snyder's developing here. I enjoy it. Anyway, at home, they've just been so dominant, and we've seen them bully ball some high value teams. The Philadelphia 76ers are also one of the best home teams in basketball, but on the road, they're batting .500, 7-7, I believe. So with or without Joel Embiid, they have their work cut out for them today. And without Joel Embiid, this game could definitely become another laugher. So look out for the Embiid news. Hopefully we have indications on him being in or out before lock. If he's in, I probably am not playing Embiid, Raj. I don't know about you. I'm probably staying away from a 10-7, 10-5 price point and hoping for the best. If he's out, just out of curiosity, are you moving the needle on Simmons? Because Simmons, we can 1v1 him too. Heck, Donovan Mitchell. Tobias Harris is 7'4", 7'3". He's got some people in that price range, but a lot of value in that. Like Tobias Harris versus, Jared Allen today. Like he's got people that give him style competition. Are you touching any Sixers if Embiid is out? And if Embiid was in, are you just fading the Sixers completely?
I think if Embiid's out, it's going to come like to an ownership thing, because if he's out and you have Ben Simmons versus like I said, a Fox or a Beal or a Westbrook. I think I still like those other guys. Kind of respect Utah's defense. Don't think Philly's that great of a team without Embiid. I could see Utah not necessarily blowing them out, but being a low-scoring game and just running away with it in the fourth after a bit. So just kind of don't respect them. So I might, again, based on ownership, I might be fading Tobias and Simmons in a 3-entry if Embiid sits. If Embiid plays, I'd probably just fade the Sixers as a whole. And on the Utah side, I'm going to play Point Mitchell. Just at 8-3, he has 50-point upside every game when he's playing point guard. Mm-hmm. So give me some of him. Jordan Clarkson is still cheap on FanDuel, $5,500. So I think at that price, there's some upside here. Joe Ingles on FanDuel, I think they just haven't priced him up yet. He's $4,900. So he's kind of a mid-tier value guy who, I mean, he's been getting it done. Even last game in the down game, got you 21. So against Philly, I think he can get you 30 plus at $4,900. So Ingles, Clarkson, and Mitchell for me, and nobody else in this game. What's O'Neal had a fake game?
He did. If Embiid is out, would you have no Rudy Gobert?
Center spot. I see. So on DraftKings, I'll probably start a lot of lineups with Cousins and Jared Allen at center, or on like a 3-entry. They'll take one or two of those. At 8-3 on FanDuel for Rudy Gobert. I get it. It seems like he's. I probably should have more. I just don't know if I get to him in the single entry and 3-entry. In a deep field single entry, he seems like actually a great play because everyone's going to play Cousins or Allen. Mm-hmm. And you play Gobert, again, has that upside.
Yeah. Looking at Russ. Russ said if Embiid should miss today, Tony Bradley revenge game. That's always fun. We always see some of these obscure players linked to the Jazz. And I don't say Bradley's obscure because that's his last team and he actually was off the bench from. But we've seen some weird former Jazz players drop big games against Jazz. So fun revenge narrative to chase there. And I think I would, like, all memes aside, if Embiid was out, I could see this game being another blowout, and Tony Bradley's pretty cheap. And if you're trying to chase 100K, sure, I don't think that's the craziest approach. With that said, great filibuster. Any day crypto traders here? ADA and ICX are looking bullish AF. I don't trade crypto, but I've been dipping my toes into stocks finally in the last month. But I don't know what I'm doing. We have a stocks channel in the RunDFS.com VIP Discord. If I pull that up here, right now we're just tilting the NBA Top Shot, just joke of a drop. And I just find some initials that people like, and I start investing in them. And so far, so good. Like, I literally haven't lost money yet, just following what everyone else is touting in the Discord. So, yeah, we'll make money by just reading that channel. But I'm with you on Donovan Mitchell. 8-3 to 8K. He's just been a strong play without Mike Conley. And one of the things I do like about Donovan Mitchell, I'll pull up his DraftKings game log here just to kind of have an aesthetically pleasing discussion. Outside of that last game where he had 2 assists against Miami, game was a little bit tougher. Miami defense, I think, when Butler's at his peak is what you want. But 26 plus points in the last 5 or 6 games here. And outside of that last game, he's had 8, 9, 11, and 5 assists. So on the season, Donovan Mitchell's averaging 5.1 assists. And if we run that on-off court tool, which I definitely have open, there we go, Utah Jazz, and put Mitchell on and we take off Mike Conley. Just want to look at the direct impact. Donovan Mitchell has a 32.3% usage rate with a near 30% assist rate. And the offensive rating for the team's at 118. And the reason why that's interesting to me, Raj, is because I like to seek out some prop bets and stuff like that. And I've been playing on Prize Picks. We've been talking about Prize Picks a lot lately, chat. So I do want to mention that if you guys are seeking out individual plays like that, or even if you feel like you're not going to be able to get to enough Donovan Mitchell in your DFS lines today, but you want to hedge it and allow him to make you money even if you can't play him. You can always come to Prize Picks and seek out what his props might be. So Donovan Mitchell has a point prop of 27.5, which he's hit. That would be an uncomfortable click, but he's hit that. And then his assist prop is 6 assists. And outside of that last game, he's hit that. So I might be willing to come out here and hedge some of my lack of exposure of Donovan Mitchell in my DFS lineups by getting him bullishly on Prize Picks. And if you guys want to tail that and you want to start adding player prop parlays to your daily spend, diversify your risk while still rewarding your DFS research, you can do so and get a little bit of a bonus here. We have a partnership here with Prize Picks, and if you guys are new players on the site, you sign up using code GUNDACKER, they will instantly match your initial deposit up to $100. So if you want to just try $10, run a couple parlays here, they'll instantly match it, and you have $20 of site credit to play with. And if you want to drop $100, now you have $200 to make some cards, have some fun. It's a great way to further reward your daily research. You're already doing the work, and if you bet on Jordan Clarkson to be a solid play for PRA or points or assists, something like that, it doesn't necessarily mean that your DFS lineups are going to succeed, because there can always be some ancillary or wild shooting guard that drops 50 and he's 1% owned. But this way you can still kind of reward that research and get yourself a little something in return. Yesterday I saw Shady. He's one of the cats that did try this site because of the partnership. If I pull that up and I go to the props and betting channel in the RunDFS.com VIP Discord, I have a tag. Shady put $20 on a 3-leg parlay. Jonas Valanciunas over 11.5 rebounds. Terry Rozier over 19.5 real points, and Dejounte Murray over 5 assists. He hit, so $20 turned into $100. So you guys, I definitely encourage you guys to check that out and find another way to reward that research. Let me see what this tag was. It says 1 p.m. for me here. Okay, 5 p.m. Pacific now for drop. That Top Shot drop is an actual circus. It's not... Oof. It's not oof. Pete says Philadelphia average on the road and the Utah buzzsaw at home. I like Mitchell assist upside and Clarkson if Embiid's out. A little bit of Tobias, yeah. Why don't you answer 1v1 questions? I definitely do. If you asked one and I missed it, that's my bad. But feel free to re-drop it. I'm very interactive with chat. What's up, Paul? Says we're here. We can start. All right, chat. Scroll back up. Paul's here. What do we got? We got a couple games left. Golden State Warriors hosting the Cleveland Cavaliers. A lot of West Coast action tonight, man. That little eye of the storm in the middle of the slate when you know Nuke could drop and shake things up. So you guys got to be on your toes, be on your P's and Q's. Let me ask you this, Raj. Is there anyone from the first 4 games that we've talked about that you have to? I guess we want some Indiana exposure, some John Wall, but theoretically, if you gave yourself some blank checks, right? If you went into DraftKings and you started reserving some lineups, and because of late swap, like if you reserve the lineup of all 9 p.m. players, and you sat around waiting on the news. You think you can write some blank checks at 9 p.m. tonight just from people involved in the Cavs, Warriors, the Nets and Kings games? Like, is that a fun approach?
I think there'll be one player from. I think there'll be at least one guy from the Houston side who'll be in the optimal winning lineup for sure. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that's the best idea, but I get it. You know, you
take advantage of some news, man. Might do it. Maybe I'll go reserve a single entry and do that. But I mean, on the same token, like you could still just like put it in a wall or something like that, and then have the late stuff, and maybe just relax. Don't force yourself to make a lineup by lock. I don't know.
Yeah, you can do that too.
Anyway, Cavs at the Warriors. Cavs night 2 of a back-to-back. Project starting 5 for the Cavs. Darius Garland, Collins, Sexton, Isaac Okoro, Taran Prince, and Jared Allen taking on Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins, Kelly Oubre, Juan Toscano Anderson, and Draymond Green. We got a 227 total. 9.5 point spread in favor of the home team Warriors. Jared Allen. Give it to me. Give me some Jared Allen tonight. He's almost 7K on FanDuel, 67 on DraftKings. But he's a guy I've always liked to play in some faster-paced matchups. And I think this matchup certainly will be, or has the potential of being a little bit more track meaty. The Cavs don't like to play at a fast pace. They're one of the slowest teams in basketball. But I do believe the team that's winning would dictate the pace. The Cavs have a bottom 5 pace in basketball, and the Golden State Warriors have the second fastest pace. So by just laws of math, there's going to be more possessions for the Cavs than usual. But if the Warriors are holding on to a near double-digit points a lead the whole time, the Cavs are going to have to pick it up. So I like Jared Allen's upside here. I got him for just about 30 minutes without Drummond in the foreseeable future. I think he can be a point per minute, and I think he has potential to go above a point per minute in this spot. So I'm bullish on him. And then past that, we love revenge today. We got John Wall. We mentioned Tony Bradley. Javal McGee's in the mix. He's really cheap on both sites, and he might be my highest owned player today, Raj.
I'm not going to disagree with you on that one.
He's the glue, right? Like, you got to have some value. And per minute, he's elite. Last night, I was happy with the 20+.
I wish he got more minutes. Like, I don't know why he didn't even, like, I thought he'd get that blowout run, too.
They have, I guess, Lamar Stevens, but I don't know, man. I think if I have 15 to 20 minutes of Javal McGee in this pace, I'm there. I just think I'm stocking stuffer, and I'm gonna have.
I like my FanDuel more because of that power forward eligibility. I mean, you are giving up a center spot on DraftKings. That's the only kind of downfall of that.
All right, I'm there. So if we up the pace a little bit, do you have any interest in Garland, Sexton, any of these Cavs? Wings or guards? I feel like Garland and Sexton are worth consideration. I think I can easily pivot off of Sexton to an Eric Gordon or maybe somebody like a Halliburton or Hield in the upcoming game, because I think that game's going to be a track meet. What about Darius Garland at point guard? If you weren't going double bigs at the point guard spot on FanDuel, could you see yourself trying to chip in a chair Darius Garland while everyone's playing TJ McConnell on FanDuel? Or are you like me? I just feel like every lineup on FanDuel I run is just going to be high-end point guard. Like, I'm just not even going to...
Yeah, I'm definitely in the high-end point guard realm today.
All right.
I get it, 5,500. He's there. If you want to get different, it's Golden State. You know, they're not going to play defense. But Jared Allen is the guy on Cleveland's side. Core piece, tier 1 on both sides. You give him the minutes, should smash here. On the Golden State side, I think Curry goes a little overlooked today. And there's some other guys. Curry coming off of a down game and where everyone played him against Brooklyn. I think Curry at 9-9 goes a little overlooked. And again, great spot for him. Should smash here. Oubre and Wiggins have been playing better. Oubre is just suddenly like one of the best rebounders in the league for a wing. 10 rebounds past 3 games. San Antonio, Orlando, Brooklyn. I mean, this is a spot where he could get those rebounds too. So I like Kelly Oubre at his price. Definitely get there for you. Draymond Green's questionable, but I think he's probable. At his 6,700 on DK, I mean, the upside's there. We've seen him. Double-digit assists. Could get you double-digit rebounds, double-digit points. So I think there's upside there. Whether I get him in 3 entries is tough. Could have to see how the slate breaks down. But other than that, probably nobody else.
Andrew Wiggins?
Been playing well, too. I mean, so the reason Curry had a fantasy down game is because Wiggins had a good game, scored 17 real-life points. Oubre had a good game, so Curry just didn't have to do as much. So at 6,300, I mean, I'm with it again.
I'm going to throw a weird stat at you. The Cavs, for as slow as they run, allow the most blocks per game in the league. Andrew Wiggins averages 1.4 blocks per game, leading the Warriors in that category. Would it be just crazy for Wiggins to stock his way to a solid game? Think about all the shots that Garland and Sexton represent. 2 blocks, 3 blocks. We got a bunch of 3-block games. That's 9 fantasy points out the rip. 5 blocks against Indiana. you might surprise some people with some stocks tonight.
I wouldn't be shocked. But
And of course, the Cavs revenge. We have revenge everywhere tonight, right?
yeah, revenge everywhere. I mean, Draymond. How many lives would you need to run to get to Draymond?
I don't think I feel like he's priced appropriately. I feel like the median range of outcome is probably 35 fantasy points. I can live without it. I really want to punt the power forward position a lot today on FanDuel. I can see a lot of Noel McGee lines for me. I don't prioritize Draymond. If I'm running 20 or less, I just probably don't have Draymond. And on DraftKings, that we'll talk about in a little bit, I'm on Rashawn Holmes today. So for cheaper. So I'm probably just not there on Draymond.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, it's tough to get to. But I think in tournaments, like you said, his ownership will be a little lower. So I think he could be a good tournament play.
Yeah.
This game is interesting. Like, I think this game can give us some plays. I think people have looked at the Houston-Washington game or the Brooklyn-Sacramento game. I think this game could have some tournament winners in there, multiple.
Very possible. W. German says, Wall, Cousins, or Harden, McGee. McGee at 3,100 is my punt preference over Wagner. I'm with you on that one, German. It wouldn't shock me if Wagner was a solid play. I'm very, very skeptical of Wagner's propensity to get in foul trouble just in general. And then a guy like Demarcus Cousins can take advantage of that. So Wall, Cousins, or Harden, McGee. Whew. Oh, man. Would you go John Wall, Demarcus Cousins, or James Harden, JaVale McGee? Dude. I feel like the floor's in Wall, Cousins. I could see minutes being less than 30 for Cousins. And Wall, if we're being honest, like we're taking narrative out the mix, like the median range of outcome for Wall is like 40 to 50, right? And I think I would say median was probably 35 to 45. So probably Harden and McGee if you're trying to chase, but I think Wall Cousins will raise your floor a little bit. Can't be questionable probable at the same time, bro. Remember that game Dwayne Wade got upgraded from out to doubtful and then played? It was like in Toronto. It was so dumb. Lance says, what do you think of this for a super early line trying to chase the 100K? John Wall, Malcolm Brogdon, Harden. Eric Gordon, Harden's not early. Joe Harris, he's not early. Or you mean just early in the day? I thought you meant like early on the slate. Ingles, John Collins, Noel, DeAndre Jordan. I think they're all very viable. I don't see a single play in that lineup that I disagree with individually. Joe Harris is obviously pretty volatile because he's extremely scoring dependent. But like he's in a spot in a matchup in a total that it could happen without Kyrie or without KD. Pete says thoughts on Osman if they go small. If you can put 25 plus minutes on him, and yeah, there is a propensity for this game to go small. I still think Jared Allen's fine to be a small ball center. Even JaVale McGee to an extent. But I don't know. I don't see my. He's cheap. He's cheap. I'm probably not there though. My DK is finally unlocked. Only took a week. What up, Rich in the YouTube chat? Back. He's coming home. Yo, Rich, Young C got locked on DK for a minute. They take their security real serious. G Yali says, why don't you answer 1v1? It's what it was yesterday. So if I missed your 1v1, if it was at the end of a stream or during a stream and I actually miss it and I don't acknowledge it, that's on me. That's my bad. I apologize. Twitter.com/Gundacker. If you tweet at me, there's a great chance, like a 99.999% chance, I'll quote tweet you with an answer. So if you're on Twitter and you just kind of wanted to get my thoughts on something, it doesn't even have to be something stream related. Like let's say, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes before lock, you have a question and you just want my spin, just tweet at me. I'll respond. But again, my bad. Rashawn Holmes versus Brooklyn. His minutes are up and down. I love Rashawn Holmes. We'll talk about him in a minute, though. Is it stupid to play McGee and Wagner in a line? I hate when W's are V's. I don't think it's crazy because that's probably gonna give you the keys to like 4 powerhouse guards.
Yeah, that's interesting build in tournaments. Don't hate it.
Yeah. Yesterday's center spot was crazy on FanDuel. It was. Jonas Valanciunas was easily my favorite, though, and I was fine with what he put up. Let's move on to the next game. Miami Heat at the Los Angeles Clippers. Project starting 5 for the Heat. Kendrick Nunn, Duncan Robinson, Jimmy G. Buckets. Kelly Olynyk, Bam Adebayo taking on Patrick Beverly, Reggie Jackson, Kawhi Leonard, Nick Batum, and Serge Ibaka. Got a 216 total. 3.5 point spread in favor of the home team, Los Angeles Clippers. So this game's kind of going to run, project a little bit slower, medium scoring, down in pace. The Clippers could be without Paul George. Yesterday, Kawhi Leonard, who I had as a tier 1 at main slate lock. Like, I had a ton of exposure to Kawhi. Was ruled out, kind of a curveball, middle of the slate. He was ruled out with like a lower thigh bruise or something. So he's still on the injury report with that. But in my head, I'm thinking from an organizational standpoint, maybe they think Paul George was not going to be ready for this game, and they thought the Clippers could beat the Cavs without Kawhi, so maybe they were resting him as a precaution on the front end of a back-to-back. So because of that line, I think I'm probably expecting Kawhi to play and Paul George to be out. But as is, do your due diligence throughout the day and hope for some nuggets there. This is an interesting 1v1. Jimmy Butler versus Kawhi Leonard, just from a real-life perspective. I've definitely documented Kawhi's success without Paul George pretty liberally. Kawhi Leonard DKP by game log without Paul George last 10 games. It's just a sea of 50s. There's like one errant 36 or something against Sacramento. But it's like 49 plus, 50 plus in all but one game in his last 10 without Paul George. Unstoppable force, immovable object. Kawhi versus Jimmy Butler could be fun. And at 9.8 on FanDuel, 9.6 on DraftKings, there's still meat on the bone for that to be a solid ROI. I'm willing to concede and take a step back because of the individual matchup against Jimmy Butler. I'm willing to even say that I'd just rather put that stock in a 9K player that maybe could get me 60 plus today on a more common range of outcome. But at the same time, would I be salty if I look back tonight and he had 55 and a grindy defensive game? So I'm kind of torn on what to do with Kawhi from where I'm sitting now and what time it is. I'll meditate on that a little bit more. And then Jimmy Butler, 8,900 on FanDuel, but just 8,200 on DraftKings. And if Ben Simmons opens up without Embiid, that's a curious click. Donovan Mitchell's already set up to be a great play. John Wall's probably underpriced. But Jimmy Butler, outside of the Utah game, and we've talked about it, at Utah is probably the toughest game you could ask for right now. I'm willing to forgive that, and if you do, every other game has been above 44 fantasy points since coming back on January 30th. Is he underpriced? But he's catching Kawhi Leonard often, right? So this is a very, very fun game theory situation for Butler and Kawhi. And Butler's going to continue to benefit as long as Goran Dragic's out, a couple more ball handling responsibilities, and he's turned back to Jimmy minutes. So I guess the question is, are you playing Kawhi Leonard or Jimmy Butler? And if so, how much?
I don't think I'm going to get to Jimmy Butler today, especially with 3 entries. Paul George, if he plays, I think you can kind of just X out the entire Clippers team. Again, I think this is 2 good defensive teams kind of going at it when they're in full strength. I think Kawhi plays. I don't think the injury was anything serious. It was just a front end of a back-to-back, so they rested him. I get playing Kawhi with the other studs on the slate. I just see myself fading this game. What are the odds Kawhi really outscores all these other studs?
KP by game log versus. I'm curious. Jimmy Butler last. If Kawhi and Butler have some history, or not history, but like fantasy. So last couple games of Kawhi versus Jimmy, 44, 72, 60, 53. I'm assuming, that was the playoff series against Philly. So all those are 40-minute games. We can't really overstock those. And then the other 2 games are from last season where there's a 72 involved on a 30-point triple-double for Kawhi. All right. I don't know, man. I think we're underrating Kawhi, and I still think we might be overrating the Heat defense. I get. I want to believe that their defense is strong at full strength, but we really haven't had reasons to be over invested in that thought. And it's like the Raptors, right? We still want to feel like they're a great defense, but are they? Are they? If you look at defensive rating, Miami Heat are 109.7 points per 100 possessions. Yeah, that's top 10 in basketball, but man, we've certainly seen some teams go out there and scrap, and I almost like Kawhi Leonard the tougher the matchup. Like, he just muscles out, and the same with Jimmy Butler. They just muscle out peripherals. So, I don't know. I feel like I'd want a little bit more of a Butler at 8,200. I feel like the opportunity cost is still low enough and strong enough for 50-plus fantasy point potential. And then the same side, if I flip it back, Kawhi without Paul George has been so solid. So, but I'm with you, man. Like, I want the 240 totals, right? Am I playing? Yeah. Would you Kawhi over Kyrie if it came down to it? Yes.
Yeah, I think Kyrie. Okay. Yeah.
All right, Chad. I'm curious to see what you guys are doing on that one. Also, on Top Shots, I keep clicking join drop and nothing happens. So I don't know if this is the same for you guys. If anybody else is sweating this drop, it looks like I'm finally logged back in and I'm able to see the Cool Cats drop page. And then when I click join drop, nothing happens. So, yeah, fun drop over here. Cool Cats. What do you guys got on this game before we move on? Russ says, Gun, I don't think Kawhi plays tonight. Read this article later and share with the Discord. Read this article later and share with the Discord. Okay, we have some insider trading. I'm with it. Hey Gun, your spreadsheet has Lou Will at 28 and Price Picks has him at 34 for real points or for PRA. I'm assuming numbers like that are PRA. I think Lou Will's numbers would really, for me, be contingent on the status of Kawhi and or Paul George. If both of those guys are out, you can see him flirt with that. But I'm willing to bet the under if one of those guys are in. Shadow says Butler over 34.5 PRA or Adebayo 31.5 PRA. I can show you what my early projections have Butler at. If we sort it by PRA, Butler and Adebayo. Dude, I swear I got the Heat on like 50 and I'm dying. Like, I don't even want the Heat on, but they're like, you got to have the Heat on and have your cabinets open or pipes might freeze. I have Butler at 33.7 and Adebayo, I have him at 33.9. So I guess the 33.9 would be above the line that you have for Adebayo, so maybe I would go for that one. For fantasy points. Okay, and the same thing. Fantasy points, I probably flirt with the under unless we got definitive news. I probably just wouldn't even touch that, Rich, until we had status news on Kawhi or Paul George. Top Shot drop pushed back to 5 Pacific. What's that in our time, Shady? 3? I think it's 3, right? Let's move on to the final game on the slate. Before we do that, take a pause for the cause and remind you guys that after the party is the after party, and after the party is the Discord lobby. I'm making that a thing. If you guys want to hang out with me up until lock, I'll be in the RunDFS.com NBA VIP Discord. Looking a little something like this. It's an amazing community. By the way, Tony Snell is now doubtful. Adjust your projections accordingly. Looks a little something like this, man. We got people from all over the world, literally all over the world. Yesterday I found out Pav is both British and English and Scottish. And if you know, you know. There is 24/7 discussion, communication on all things DFS. While I do spearhead the proprietary spreadsheets for NBA, for baseball, and for football, yesterday Smeezy did a great job presenting a spreadsheet for Daytona. These cats are grinding everything. League of Legends, golf, anything you can play, they're playing it. So it's a great community of guys to bounce ideas off of at every different bankroll level. We've got, I swear, every time I tout the Discord, Danny throws cat pictures. We got guys at all different and girls at all different bankroll levels. We got 100K winners, millionaire maker winners, quarter arcade winners. If you guys are just looking to get in where you fit in, there's something here for you. And then up until lock, for the 2 hours prior to lock, I'll be in the RunDFS.com VIP voice chat. Sometimes they'll bleed over. We're hanging out. We're shooting a breeze. And then yesterday we had a very entertaining, passionate debate about Jeremy Grant versus Demarcus Cousins. And I'm here to tell you guys, I was right. Man,
Jeremy,
you guys got schooled. You guys got schooled.
Guns right once in a while, guys.
Once in a while.
Right, broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah. But anyway, if you guys want to hang out with us, talk some stuff, or just be in the chat, you can listen in to the voice chat, or you can grab a mic, join the conversation. Anyone is welcome. All you got to do is have a premium subscription at RunDFS.com. Week passes, 2 week passes, month passes, year passes, all that good stuff. Might even be time to reduce the year pass. If anybody's interested in the year pass, shoot me your best offer. And I might reduce it, seeing as we're just baseball and football, a little bit of NBA left. I need this NBA All-Star break. I really do. Yeah, go be part of that. Spreadsheets. I have personal projections, by the way, in those spreadsheets for FanDuel, DraftKings, and Yahoo. We also have Prize Picks, and then I will be carving out my DraftKings and FanDuel player pools, my tier 1s, 2, 3s. You guys don't have to tail it. You can compare your notes with mine and go from there. Chat, what do we got for the main slate? Cousins or Holmes on FanDuel. That's a good 1v1. 7 p.m. our time, so an hour after long. All right, I can live with that. Don't just walk DFS, run DFS. Main event tonight, Brooklyn Nets at the Sacramento Kings. Project starting fire for the Nets, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Joe Harris, Jeff Green, DeAndre Jordan taking on Darren Fox, Buddy Hield, Harrison Barnes, Marvin Bagley, Rashawn Holmes, a 243 total, 4-point spread in favor of the Brooklyn Nets. I expected a really high total. I speculated this on the first look video this morning. Rods, it is very, very possible that the 2 worst defenses in basketball are playing basketball tonight. I don't know if you remember, was it last year when it was like the Wizards and Rockets and the game like touched like a 280 total? I think this has that type of potential. And because of that, I'm going nuts with it. I'm stacking it. I definitely like the Kings side a little bit more. Kings are on night 2 of a back-to-back. De'Aaron Fox, 8,700, 8,800 on FanDuel and DraftKings, respectively. Buddy Hield's close to 7K, but considering the amount of points projected for this one, I will have some Buddy Hield. Like, I'm just going to have pieces of everything. Harrison Barnes at 6'6". I'm sure this is your lock, right? 6,600. Harrison Barnes might be a team leader in minutes played. And then, of course, one of my favorite plays here, points per dollar, is Rashawn Holmes just chilling down here, 6,400 on FanDuel.
Kawhi Leonard just got ruled out.
He just got ruled out. All right, good call, Russ.
Paul George ruled out, too.
All right, so we'll go back to that in just a second. I will say Prize Picks is really, really a little bit late to adjust accordingly. So if you guys want to
Beverly ruled out, too.
Patrick Beverly out. So what I would say is you guys should run over to Prize Picks right now. And 1, maybe Jimmy Butler becomes a lock. But 2, Reggie Jackson probably is going to be a massive beneficiary of all those guys being out. They don't have him. They don't have a point prop on him right now. So I don't know. They're really late to adjust. So the sports books are quick to pull stuff offline. Prize Picks is not. So this would be a great chance to use code GUNDACKER over on Prize Picks and take advantage of the news as fast and efficiently as possible. Immediate boost right there would be Lou Williams. Lou Williams, if Beverly's out, Lou Williams has already been super solid without Paul George and Kawhi. This could be one of those big upside games for him. So, Rich, I hope you didn't take the under on Lou Williams because I think this would be a spot. We'll go back to that game right after this. Let's finish breaking this one down. Let that dust settle. James Harden, 10.6K on FanDuel, 10.7K on DraftKings. He is the point guard. Apparently, Kyrie looked at James Harden. He said, "You're the point guard. I'm the shooting guard." And now the Nets going into battle without Kevin Durant, like I said, could be one of the worst defenses in all of basketball. So it's essentially who's going to score more real points. And I think Kyrie and James Harden make a fun handcuff. I think they could combine for 100-plus fantasy points. And I actually haven't projected to do just that. I have 57 conservative DraftKings points on Harden and 50 on Kyrie. Raj, if I told you right now you can get 110, 120 fantasy points from these two, you probably have some of that. And then past that, I think DeAndre Jordan is a curious click on DraftKings at 4,500. I think 25 minutes is in a crazy range of outcomes for him. Sacramento Kings have been the best match, or one of the best matchups for centers on the slate. And likewise, the Nets have been one of the best matchups for centers, and I really like Rashawn Holmes. There's not many names you could pick here that I wouldn't like. Maybe keep an eye on Marvin Bagley. He's missed several games in a row. If he misses this one as well, it creates more minutes and opportunity for Harrison Barnes. Hassan Whiteside might get a sneak or two, and then Nemanja Bjelica is in the mix as well. But I think Rashawn Holmes is one of my favorite sneaky shots at 50 fantasy points. I think this is one of those games that he could thrive in. So I like that quite a bit. And then Tyrese Halliburton, man, I think this game goes small. Halliburton's out there, and we might see some 3-guard sets with Barnes at the 4. And there's no one off limits. There's nobody off limits. Jeff Green, Joe Harris. You can't name one name that I wouldn't play here.
Yeah. So I mean, like, what do you do with Jeff Green, Joe Harris? Like, I mean, how much?
So Joe Harris would be the guy I'm probably the lowest on, just because he is so scoring dependent. Yeah. I've said it before. 20 real points from Joe Harris doesn't mean he's going to hit value. Like he can even have 25. He's the new JJ Redick. You need him to score, but because of this total, and because of the matchups, the defensive, the lack of defense in both games, I think he's playable. And at 5K, I'm looking for 30 fantasy points. He's in the pool, but he's certainly my lowest owned option.
I get it. Yeah, I mean, I think this spot Jeff Green can just rack up a lot of peripherals. You know, a few rebounds, assists, points, steals, blocks. They'll probably have more Jeff Green than Joe Harris. But I mean, both again aren't played. Highest scoring game on the slate. You can literally stack up this whole game. I don't think I have any lineups with like in three edge. I probably won't have any with Harden and Kyrie together.
Why?
I mean, like on FanDuel when I play them together. Like,
yes,
I like the Houston guys.
It's not that hard. Like, so So if you're still thinking minimally with 3 lines or less,
yeah,
I get it. You gotta make out. Yeah. You gotta drop your balls on the table. But
yeah,
at the same time, man, that Houston game could score 40 less points than this game. Like Houston has been a solid defense. I know Depot's out, but they've been a solid defense. The Wizards, not a great defense, but their offense is basically is Bradley Beal hitting shots today.
Taran Prince just got rolled out too.
Jared Allen and Javal McGee. Actually, Jetty Osman, we were talking about him. He's really cheap. He might benefit from that as well.
Yeah.
Wow, it's just a slew of news dropping on us right now.
Yeah.
Chat, everyone in this game. Play everyone in this game, right? Everyone.
Okay.
Let's get caught up on chat here. Mighty Mole, you must live in Portland. No, I actually live in Waco, Texas. I'm from New York, though. I haven't been to Portland. Kawhi rolled out. Shadow says Irving over 27.5, Fox over 24.5 thoughts. Yeah, I'd probably just put this whole so don't do this in like a prize picks card, but if I'm betting individual prop bets, I might just put everyone on this slate and bet the over on everyone and just hope I win more than lose. Like, right? If I put a unit on all that, if it's close to even money, just bet the over. The over on James Harden assist is also something I would like here. So I think he's averaging 11 on the season. What's his assist prop on prize picks? Harden. Let me just control F this one. He's at 11. So you could push at 11, but with this total, with no KD, I think he could blow 11 out the water with 15 or 16. So I'd probably take Harden assist prop too. And then I think there's a chance Jimmy Butler's fantasy point prop might be a little low with Kawhi. Like I said, price pick's a little slow to adjust. So I don't know if you guys jumped on it fast enough, but Butler's, and these are FanDuel scoring 43. He's dropped 44 or better since coming back, and now no Kawhi. I'd probably take the over on Butler too. So, yeah, price picks, code Gundecker. Anyway, let's get caught up on the Clippers news. So we got Kawhi Leonard was out. Shout out to Russ with the feeling in his bad knee on Kawhi being out. You said Beverly was out too, right? So we probably had to put Lou Williams in the mix. Luke Kennard somehow, Reggie Jackson. I guess Marcus Morris benefited a big time yesterday as well. The Clippers were favored. I imagine that this game could drop to a pick'em, if not heat. get a 1 or 2 point favorite here. We'll see how that line moves. 6,600 on FanDuel for Lou, 6,400 on DraftKings for Lou Williams. He's put together a couple strong games. Last night, the matchup is much better, right? The Cavs. But we're seeing some 30s and 40s in that game log. Last 5 games is not giving you less than 30. Where are you at on Lou Williams now?
That Miami Heat defense is worrisome. I mean, they're at full strength. What's their defense been the past 5 games? I want to see like with Jimmy playing.
I mean, last 5 wouldn't be fair because Utah smacked them, but we can just look at Heat scores.
Yeah.
But I think Lou Williams, like, I don't necessarily think he would garner immediate Jimmy Butler defense, like a guard, whatever.
Yeah. So
the Rockets scored 94, but they run slow. Those are 2 good defenses. Jazz scored 112. Knicks scored 96. So I think their defense got really beneficial. I mean, the Wizards, goodness gracious, they're going against some of the worst offenses in basketball. Kings, Hornets, Wizards, Knicks. Like, their stats might be inflated lately.
And Charlotte, Sacramento.
Yeah, that's they've had a really soft strength of schedule. And if we put
Lou Williams.
If I gave you 35 minutes of Lou Williams at 6,400,
literally, I feel like in any other matchup, I would lock him in.
I think
like there's literally like might have to even in this one.
It's 64.
Him versus Eric Gordon, you're going Lou Will for sure. Like I'm leaning Lou Will now, but I feel like Eric Gordon against Washington could outscore Lou Will.
I don't think that's a crazy sentence, but Lou Williams right back in the mix, man. 22 shot attempts last night. I don't know. And then
he has to do the scoring.
Yeah, if this game's going to stay competitive, I'm looking at him to score 20-plus real points. Serge Ibaka put up a lot of points last night, or a lot of fantasy points last night. His matchup is probably the toughest on the table. You'll see a lot of immediate Adebayo. Marcus Morris thrived last night. I think Reggie Jackson's really cheap on both sides. 4,600 on FanDuel, 4,900 on DraftKings. You take out Beverly. There's been games earlier this season where Reggie, 40-plus fantasy points. Last night he got 32 minutes, 24 fantasy points. Double-digit shot attempts.
I'm probably going to have, I think Morris sees Jimmy defense. I'll probably have one of the lineups and full stack the Clippers. Lou Williams, Morris, maybe Reggie too. I'll probably stay away from Ibaka. The matchup is tough. But Morris, upside's there. Lou, the upside there. Even Ibaka, I mean.
It's Terrence Mann getting 23 minutes.
Shout out Jake's boy, won him 100K.
He got 20 minutes last night, 16. He's really cheap. So we give him half of those Beverly minutes. I don't know, man. There's some fun plays here. Definitely, I want to see what happens to the lines here. But, if you guys are on Prize Picks, maybe take advantage of that. I've seen them be a little bit slow to react. Get caught up on chat. Russ says, I'm confirmed only playing the 7-game late slate as a 3-game 9 p.m. slate. I like that, especially since you can shop ownerships in the rest of the slate. It just made a Clippers versus Heat, Kings, Nets game stack. That's chef kiss. I think the value's there. We didn't even talk about Tyler Hero at under 6K, but I got him at over 30 minutes. He might sock some people. James says Harden 3.5 3-pointers is plus 136. What you think? Because of the total, I'd probably get it. Like usually a line like that for plus money is like that for a reason. But because of the total without KD, I'd probably take it. I think Joe Harris will do a lot of their 3-point shooting. So you need him to hit 4 threes. He's done that twice in his last 10. I think I dabble with it, but it's priced like that for a reason. So it's not something that's a lock, but I'm with it. I wouldn't say I'm confident, but I think the Kings can keep that one close, just because the Nets defense without KD has just been so atrocious, and we've seen the Cavs but take them 12 rounds. LPM, what's up, LPM? I like Reggie Jackson now on FanDuel for 4.6K. I like the thought of Reggie. I still don't want to give up the point guard spot, and he's only a point guard. But if you're trying to make some reverse lineups that have Jimmy, and the same is Lou Williams, Point guard only? No, he's shooting guard. All right. If you're
Shooting
trying to
guard,
go
nice.
after some of those Jimmy lineups, Sabonis lineups, like that would be real. If you want to build backwards today, I still think there's a route to do it. Like a Jimmy Butler, grab one of the stud centers. Sabonis is in a smash spot against the Bulls. Center, there's not really a high-end center to go after today. But if you want to build a little bit backwards and then sacrifice one of the point guard spots, I could see that being a way to go. But I definitely think a lot of people are just going to go JaVale McGee now. And that was another thing. You mentioned Taran Prince was out, right?
Yep.
So we can adjust to that. Taran Prince represents, nearly 30 minutes?
I think that Cedi Osman gets a real big boost.
I had Taran Prince projected at 24 minutes today. There's a couple ways that lineup can go. I'd imagine they're going to stay small. I don't think they're going to twin tower with Allen and McGee. So you might see Cedi Osman. You might see Lamar Stevens. Cedi Osman's been like the first man up when stuff like this happens. So you could see a small ball unit out there. And I think Cedi becomes a little bit more fun because if there's value today at not a point guard spot, that's just going to give us more pennies and more pesos to pay up. Cedi will give you a small forward spot at 3,800 on FanDuel, and that might be fun. That might be a fun click. Yesterday, Cedi got, I think, 20-ish minutes, right?
Like Marcus Morris more than Jeff Green now in the power forward spot?
No. 24 minutes for Cedi yesterday, 26 fantasy points. Yeah, Cedi might be... Oh, dude, don't let me core value Cedi Osman.
I think I'm doing it.
Yeah, no, I don't think I like Marcus Morris more than Jeff Green. It wouldn't shock me if he outscored Jeff Green, but certainly his individual matchup is a little bit tougher, and Jeff Green's just part of a high total game where I got him at 30 minutes, and I don't know. I definitely think Marcus Morris could outscore him, but I don't like him more.
Yeah.
Chat, what do you guys got? Taran Prince listed as questionable. Is he questionable, Raj? You lying to me?
That's what I said. He's questionable.
Oh, I thought you said he was out. Okay.
I mean, midday questionable.
Yeah, midday questionable. All right, let me see what the... Yo, my girl is just out here having a photo shoot on Beverly out, Taran Prince questionable, Daniel. All right, so that's what we're dealing with there. Chat, anything else? What's tomorrow looking like? What a fun developing new slate. If you guys got any final questions, comments, concerns, throw them in chat. If you guys haven't hit that thumbs up and show some love, be a real one, hit that thumbs up. The channel's getting kind of stagnant lately. I've been hitting a wall on subs and views. So if you guys want to keep the community growing, man, hit that thumbs up and share the channel with your friends. So we got 6 games tomorrow. Nuggets, Celtics, Pelicans, Grizzlies, Lakers, T-Wolves, Trailblazers, Thunder, Raptors, Bucks, and Nets and Suns. We did lose the Spurs game. So it looks like a fun slate. And also, Anthony Davis is down. He's going to miss some time. So we're gonna get gifted LeBron James versus the T-Wolves. Let's see what that comes in at. But I'll probably stick with the 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central time slot. Don't quote me on that. I'll probably stick with that, maybe 3:30, 2:30. But I'm trying to avoid overlapping with other DFS streams. Just that, one, out of respect, but 2, you can't really grow a channel if you're competing with everybody. So maybe look out for that. I'll confirm it maybe on Twitter. But let's get caught up on questions. Chat, Life of Sen, Ibaka or Marcus Morris? If I had a 1v1, I'm probably leaning Marcus Morris. Ibaka did thrive last night, but Bam Adebayo individually, defensively, is somebody I don't want to pick on. I can't.
Morris has a tough matchup too.
He does, but I don't think Morris is going to get shadowed by Butler. I think he's going to cross over Butler, but I don't think he's going to get shadowed. Ibaka probably is going to get the bulk of having to score on Adebayo, and it's night 2 of a back-to-back. So, Yali, how would you rank Green on FanDuel power forward? Jeff Green, I'll probably have more than I should. I'll probably have him as a tier 2, just because I just want as much exposure to that game, and he's a cheaper piece of exposure to that game. Isn't Noel a lock? I don't think Noel's a lock, but I'll have a bullish him out. I think he can just be a fine value play. Yali says, with Osman, you're going to pay up on power forward for FanDuel? No. So I think with Osman, he just helps you get those high guard lineups, right? If you put, so let's take out this pre lineup that I had with Butler and Sabonis. But if you put Osman in the mix, and then I don't know, McGee, who else would we mention? We mentioned Jared Allen. He's not that cheap. Mentioned Noel.
So cheap.
Yeah, so Noel under 5K. So we put Noel, McGee, Osman in the mix here. It's going to give you close to 8K per. I think we're going to end up going cheap at center. I think Boogie just might be the highest owned just by default. So just out of, for example's sake, I also think that Young's a good play, and I love Rashawn Holmes. We're going to get 8.3 per. So if you really just want to go high-end point guard today, or even just a stud point guard like a John Wall, Darren Fox, go get James Harden. Like, I think that's what a guy like Osman's going to allow me to do. And then we even got money for, Donovan Mitchell still. So if I wanted to go top heavy, look at this. Wall, Fox, Harden, Mitchell. I still have 63 per on a small forward spot. Maybe I make a couple moves and I end up with Harrison Barnes, stuff like that. So that's probably what Osman's going to do. It's not going to beef up my front court. It's going to beef up my back court for me. You guys, everyone put your own name on the bullet you're firing. But, yeah. I want to beat you with your own info on a 1v1. I don't do head-to-heads because I run, I'm a mass multi-entry guy. But if you're in contests that I'm in, if you finish higher than me, then you're better than me. That's how it works. James Fenner, stars and scrubs tonight, fellas. Yeah, for sure. What up, Michael Montgomery? How you doing? Princess Clutch will not out. Yeah, we correct that. Sorry about Raj jumping the gun on that one. But midday questionables tend to be closer to out than in. Lonzo, who would you prioritize on FanDuel, Butler or Lou Will? Probably Butler.
Yeah.
I won't play McGee. I will. Peter Dobish says, and he is gone. Frank Mason's 10-day contract has expired. Magic have waived him. I think they waived him because he got injured. Like, you're not going to double 10-day a guy that can't play. Maybe he'll come back, but yeah, they're hurting for guards right now. Twitter.com/Gundacker. If you guys got anything else for me, hit me up over there. Otherwise, I'll be in the RunDFS.com VIP voice chat in about 20 minutes. You guys are more than welcome to be part of that. Go to RunDFS.com. Get yourself a VIP pass, man. Try it out. We'd love to have you. I'll be back on the airwaves tomorrow at let's shoot for 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, and we'll see if we move up or down on that, man. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me on a Monday, and hopefully we all get some really good Top Shot packs tonight, man. Love you guys. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money.